Well, it's about the appointed hour for this wonderful and this special occasion. We had some discussion about where we would hold these dedications, but we know that sometimes the weather can get a little tricky in March, and we thought it would be best to hold it indoors here at the chapel. And for those of us that were here Tuesday morning with rain, fog, snow, we felt that might be a good way to go. We're so glad that everybody's here for this special occasion. And as we were thinking, and as I was thinking about specifically the families, I kind of reflected back to my coming to Blue Ridge Assembly. And I came out of a corporate environment where things were rather fast-paced and rather cutthroat. And as I first came to Blue Ridge and prepared myself for my very first board meeting, Roger had assured me that the board members were good, kind, gentle people and easy to get along with. It was not like corporate America. Well, it's not that I didn't believe Roger, but I wanted to keep my guard up and keep my antenna up. And as I prepared for that first board meeting, I can remember sitting in the staff meeting, seeing plaques and pictures on the wall inside of the boardroom of prior board presidents and board chairs. And then as that meeting got close, I really was studying the bio sketches. I wanted to really make sure that I knew who the folks were that were coming to this board meeting. And I had some cautions, some reserve coming out of that corporate environment where things were so less than gracious. And I decided I would be prepared. I would have my antenna up, particularly for folks that were legacy board members, folks that had been here for generations. I also was going to keep my antenna up for folks that had been through the chairs, for folks that had been generous and contributed so much. I realized that sometimes those can be difficult relationships. And I can honestly say that after my first board meeting here, meeting Mac and Mary Ann and Bill and Harriet, I was so pleasantly surprised and realized how wrong I had been in my anticipation of what I'd experienced. What I found with Bill and Harriet and Mac and Mary Ann were people that were very, very kind, and very gracious, very welcoming, very patient. And as I started thinking about those descriptors, it reminded me of Galatians 5:22, the fruit of the Spirit. And I believe that for Blue Ridge, that the McCartys and the Barnharts have represented the fruit of the Spirit to us as staff, to our guests, and to the rest of the board. And I just think it is so fitting that as we dedicate these buildings to the mission of the Assembly, we also can take time to honor two families that have been the fruit of the Spirit to Blue Ridge Assembly. When we think about families, we think about groups of individuals living under one roof, groups or people united by a common cause or a common conviction. Family is an integral part of YMCA and Blue Ridge Assembly. And the best way to strengthen the foundation of community is through families. By serving families, by enabling families the opportunity to spend time together in fellowship and play together without the outside distractions of this world. In 2001, Blue Ridge recognized the need to focus on families, and particularly on extended families. Family lodges were designed specifically to meet the needs of families and groups that desired that family atmosphere. With hard work from the board, the trustees, and gifts from generous benefactors, Blue Ridge opened its first family lodge in 2004, and the second lodge in 2007. The lodges can accommodate approximately 60 families, and what a treat it is for parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, grandchildren to be able to gather under one roof, to fellowship, to play, to cook, and take meals together. Since their opening, Blue Ridge has served 385 groups, totaling more than 20,000 guests. Our family lodges are fulfilling our missions. In Matthew 5:13, Jesus said, "You are the salt of the earth." As many of you know, salt is used for flavoring and preserving. It's an agent of change. Mary Ann McCarty, Bill and Harriet Barnhart have been these agents of change at Blue Ridge. Jesus continues in verses 14 through 16. You are the light of the world, a city on a hill that cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on a stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before men, that they may see the good deeds and praise your Father's heaven. And just as Bill and Mary Ann have been change agents, they've also been a light to Blue Ridge for the last 45 years. They've provided steadfast leadership, quietly and humbly serving with their time and their treasure and their hearts. Today we honor you, Mary Ann and your family, and Bill and Harriet, for your legacy, the large footprint that you have left that continues to impact us in what we do here. At this time, I'd like to invite Andy Calhoun to come up. Andy is a member of our board and the CEO of the YMCA Greater Charlotte.